you niggas.
What's up, everybody? It's Monday. It's Monday. We are 2 hands short of a full deck.
Yes.
Lee had already told us he wasn't going to be here for the week. He has end of year stuff with work. And Coy, I do feel sorry for Coy having had this incident. Probably not to the scale he did. He's dealing with bodily accidents by young ones, 3-year-olds.
Finger painting. Finger painting.
Brother, I look, if I could help you, I probably wouldn't, but if I could help you and had the zeal to do that, I'd be there for you. But
since we're on the topic of things like that, not really off topic, but on topic. When I worked in a jail, right? You know what made me sick the most? Like gagging.
What's that?
When inmates used to smear feces. Every single time I'd be and everybody's looking at me. I'm just like,
you're seasoned, but I ain't that seasoned.
Yeah, I was like, I can't do it. I couldn't do it every single time, man.
Look, there are tons of things I can handle. That?
Yeah.
No. So Coy, you're a champion, bro. This is like to me, that's worse than deployment. I'm sorry.
We are the champions.
So anyway, he's got his hands full. No pun intended. And so he'll be out. However, the show must go on. We will be taking our week off or so. Not next week, but the week. Yes, next week it'll be our last week before our time off.
Mm-hmm.
So just so you know, want to give everybody some time to just do what they got to do. You know what I'm saying? So there's that. Let me turn on my heater again because apparently I trip stuff out and I want to make sure I don't die down here because it's so dang cold. Anyhow, whoa, Assad. And now I don't know that he's dead. I guess there's rumors now that he may not be dead. He's just missing.
No.
I think he's dead. That's what I think. But
before we go further, Marlon, I did read something that he has asylum in Russia right now. I saw that on Breitbart. That came out like last night.
I could see it.
Yeah. So the theory was his plane went down, like you said, and everyone thought he was kaput. But I read something else that said that he's seeking asylum in Russia and Vlad's helping him out. Vlad. So I don't know. We'll see.
All right. Well, we have seen some weirder things, much weirder things. It came on the heels of Joe Biden giving money to Africa. Give us free. And the question here remains now, is he trying to find more ways to offload more American funds into the coffers of his people overseas in an effort so that when he does vacate, there are some funds waiting for him to be picking up. That's at least one of my theories. I am sure that may not be the entirety of it, but this seems vaguely weird to me because there was another individual that almost had the same thing going on while the same person was in power, but a different time ago. Who was that other guy?
Barry.
Yeah, but and the other guy, what was his name? Started with a G. He had money. He was gonna take everything back to the gold standard. He also
Gaddafi.
Yeah. Oddly reminiscent.
Yeah.
Oddly, the difference is the U.S. actually paid close attention to that and was directly involved in taking Gaddafi out. This one, not so much. They kind of did this in a roundabout way. I do believe that the U.S. government had a hand in this, by the way. I just want to make sure everybody's
100%
hand. What kind of hand? Don't know. So break down your actual theory about what you think this is about. And I want the full layout. What do you think this is about?
First scenario, I can agree with you with them moving all this money. They know that the time is up for the deep state and money laundering and, fraud, waste, and abuse. So I think to your Ukraine point or Africa point and Ukraine, which they just got approved another 788 million. I agree that they're trying to move money. Now, when it comes to Syria, I agree with your point of them trying to create as much chaos as they possibly can for Donald Trump entering office to keep him from focusing on America. The more he has to focus on other countries and what's happening in these foreign countries, the less time he has to push his agenda forward in America. So while focused on the out, the deep state, I think, will be focusing on the in, creating chaos within. Because just because Donald Trump gets out of office doesn't mean they're not going to try to create chaos in America. So while Donald Trump is focusing on these foreign wars, the deep state can continue to focus on America, creating chaos, so that they can get their wish to have a police state. That's my theory.
I can see all the above, because now understand, people, this is a very strategic incident. I'm not going to say 100% planned by the US, facilitated, perhaps, urged, perhaps, very convenient for, very 100%, yes. But they have to keep their profile low and fingerprints off of it, okay? Just like with Northwoods, they couldn't afford to have information come out that they were involved in something. There were multiple government agencies, including CIA, that were having their hands dirtied overseas in order to either sway governments, bring governments down, and bring certain things up. So to say that they wouldn't have a hand in this, nah, can't let them off the hook with that one. That one, I have to say, they probably did have a hand in it. To what ends is the question. This one is more about, I think it's about the destabilization of things over there. Now, here's what you have to understand. Timing, like you said, backstage, Mike, is everything, right? If I see and forecast that the Middle East, Russia, Ukraine, all these places over there are starting to be put on notice because Trump won. I'm not saying because Trump is some sort of godsend kind of thing. What I'm saying is Trump is volatile when it comes to overseas interference. And he's very, 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 very adamant about using force on people if they were to try and harm America in any way, shape, and form. You don't get that with any other president. If they're fully aware that this man could at any moment drop the bomb on him, I would try my best to not piss him off. I would want peace. What comes with peace? A lack of funds to the people who are in government. Can't afford that. So if he's not going to produce the violence, they have to produce the violence and make sure it's not via America's hands, or at least out loud, so that America has to participate in it. And what's the best way to get America participate? Donate funds. Now, I heard right that I heard that Biden is thinking of funding, or at least sending money over there
to Syria.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. I didn't see that. I didn't see that.
Yeah, I think that is one of the things that Biden is promising is funding. And if that's the case, then he has way more going on than we can possibly think. I think I saw that somewhere else. On either on YouTube or on X, that I saw that he was planning on helping the situation over in Syria financially. He was thinking about pledging funds. If he does eventually pledge funds, man, that's putting America in a bad spot, because who do you actually funnel money to? The Syrian government or the rebels, or who outside? Because I heard now too that Israel had a hand.
Oh,
in giving.
I got you right here. Hang on.
Money.
You're good. I'm going to send it to you.
Okay.
Found it.
In the meantime, listen to one of these kids here. Let me make sure I get it. All right. Yeah. There it is. That's what I was thinking. I knew I had seen it somewhere. Copy that. So let's bring that up real quick, because I think it's essential that people hear this for your own self. I don't want people saying I put words in the old puppet's mouth. Everybody know you got to let that Muppet talk for himself. There's no better way of burying than let him bury himself.
With a new constitution, a new government that serves all Syrians. And this process will be determined by the Syrian people themselves. The United States will do whatever we can to support them, including through humanitarian relief, to help restore Syria after more than a decade of war and generations of brutality by the Assad family.
So you're going to send humanitarian relief to a place that's now overrun by rebel forces.
Mm-hmm.
Now, hear me out. By design, rebel forces don't necessarily have a very good structure about them, except that they have a head guy, but they've taken over the place by force, right?
Yes.
Okay, so they're not the rightful heirs or leaders in that location.
No.
So how are you going to track that money going to them?
There's no government.
Oh, okay. Just checking.
And another thing, he said that for a country that's been at war for a decade, why do we care so much now if they've been at war for a decade? All of a sudden now we have to send them money right now and insert a new government. He said to help them create a constitution or something like that. No, just like you do in every country that we have our hand in overthrowing the leadership, we want to insert our version. If we said this before in another podcast, we're trying to insert our version of what we call democracy into another country, which is never going to work. It's never going to work.
This is what they got in charge right now. Listen.
Taking Hama, after taking Al-Asaad, I mean, how significant is this for you right now?
From a military perspective, what comes after Hama will not be the same as what came before. However, I prefer not to be overly optimistic during the battle. I like to remain cautious and vigilant to avoid complacency and ensure we don't suffer losses while believing we are safe.
What comes after this? What's after Hama?
The course of the battle, as for the secrets of the battle, let's leave them to the unfolding events. You will witness them in reality, which is better than discussing them now.
In a matter of days, you have taken major cities. What's changed? How are you able to do this now?
In recent years, there has been a unification of internal opinions and the establishment of institutional structures within the liberated areas of Syria. This institutionalization included the restructuring within military factions. They entered unified training camps and developed a sense of discipline. This discipline allowed them, with God's guidance, to engage in a battle in an organized manner. The progress and execution of plans have been swift, with clear communication and adherence to commands. They stop where they should stop and withdraw where they should withdraw. The revolution has transitioned from chaos and randomness to a state of order, both in civil and institutional matters and in military operations alike.
Now, I want you to understand what they're doing here. You can't make this up. They're interviewing what is in essence now, whether you agree with Assad or not. Whether you agree with Assad or not, who they're interviewing is just as bad as Assad because he's using the same methods as Assad to defeat Assad.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't mean war necessarily. We are talking about the kinds of methods they're using. It's as subversive as all the other method that you think that Assad has ever used. So when you're interviewing, you're technically interviewing a terrorist, and you're okay with that. That's what I don't understand in the situation. Like, they're picking sides when in essence, this is why we should stay out of this. Okay. Because if you realize what the war is about over there, it's not diplomatic means they're going to end this by.
No.
These are people fighting religious wars. That's all this is. All of these wars happening over there are not based on something we can negotiate with them fiscally, monetarily, diplomatically. None of that stuff is implemented in their fight sequences because it's not about those things, which is why they're so happy to just end people. The ending of people has nothing to do with money. It has to do with the holy thing.
Yeah, and it was no different than Afghanistan and Iraq. We go in there, we train these people to fight. They help us fight. We leave, and then the old regime and the old ways come back in of doing things. And most of the time, it becomes another Islamic state, another oppressive state. Now, if you think about what they did to Assad, they ousted their president by force, right? But they call Americans who didn't even do that to the same extent insurgents. I mean, insurrectionists. I'm sorry. Call us insurrectionists. Now, imagine if we would have did something like that. We would have been enemies of the freaking state. But here we are. We're praising that. You know, they want to push democracy in Syria. This is what they're trying to push. But then you allow people to overthrow a democratic process. You know, if you wanted the guy out, let the process work it out. It's not our job and it's not our place to interfere how Syria runs their country. It's up to the people to do that. But when the freedom fighters come in initially, those freedom fighters become the oppressors later.
That's exactly it. Because what they're coming. Okay, let's ask a question. Okay, let me ask the audience a question. If this were merely about a regime change because the other regime was too oppressive, in what ways was Assad oppressive? They're going to say that he limited this, limited that, started wars here, held the people under the thumb. Okay, let's say that everything they say about Assad was true. What are we expecting out of this new regime? Considering, listen to me, considering that their main goal is pushing Islam.
Worse.
Do you think it'll be? Do you think it'll be better than Assad? Do you think this is how somehow going to be so diplomatic that when we finally get this done and we're going to help secure it? This is exactly how Palestine worked, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Palestine wanted to be all kinds of free and have their own spot. Who took over? It wasn't someone you could be diplomatic with, was it?
Nope.
Okay, it was Hamas, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'm trying to figure out how, in any way, shape, and form, is them taking over Syria a better deal for the Syrians than it would if they had Assad over it.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a better deal for the Christians in Syria.
No,
You know,
no, I swear, where's that comment?
Yeah, they're going to get the brunt of it all because, you know, one of the tenets of Islam is either convert or
Die.
So all those Christians are going to be under an Islamic state once they get established. And if you do not convert, well, bad things are going to happen to you. So this isn't going to be better. They're just inserting a more radical government. And then people are going to be wishing for Assad to take over. It's no different when Saddam Hussein was in charge of Iraq. When I was over there, if you talk to the majority of the Iraqis that were, I think he was Shia, Sunni, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
One of those, I forget what side, but that side they loved Saddam. They loved him. Then when Saddam was ousted, you brought in more of a stricter version of Islam there. The people hated it.
Yeah.
There's car bombs, suicide bombs, people dying every day. So like you said, what is going to be different if you get these militants in charge of Syria? What's going to be different?
Nothing. And well, plenty will be different. Let me say it like that. But at the same time, nothing will be different. Things will be worse. That much is true. They will be worse. Because at the same time that you're celebrating this individual taking over, which is, again, why the case in point why America should stay out of it, because it is not our war. It is a holy war. And since we don't own a side on this because, one, we're not Israel, and two, we're not Muslim, and three, we're not any of the things that's over there that have to do with Syria. This particular, and mind you, this might be two factions of the Muslims fighting as well. This is why we stay out of this stuff. This is why this is not about us. We should not be in our feelings about these people. Mm-hmm. If we were over there right now, they wouldn't be asking you, oh, by the way, you side with us or not side with us? You're just gone. Yep. I hope people understand it. So in this conflict that's happening, whether Assad is alive or dead, this wasn't happening because of them being dissatisfied with his leadership. They are doing this because they're dissatisfied with the religion at hand.
Mm-hmm.
They're pushing their religion. And so if you can't get past that, I don't know how you're going to push it. You can't throw enough money at it because it's not about money. And you definitely cannot push a agenda and global agenda on this because they will reject it anyway. They're going to reject it.
And you know, this kind of reminds me, while you was talking, I was thinking about Charlie Wilson's war. Mm-hmm. And everyone knows the story behind Charlie Wilson when he went to Afghanistan, helped the Afghanis push out the Russians with Stinger missiles. And then a couple years later, 30 years, a couple decades later, who was we over there fighting? The same rebels that we helped push, some of them that we helped to push out the Russians. They became our enemy. So I kind of see like this Syrian conflict becoming the same thing. They put this oppressive regime in there, this Islamic State. They start really oppressing people. They become the dictators, and America has to come up and say, we're coming to save you. And the same thing is going to happen. We're going to get ourselves involved in another conflict in the Middle East, trying to push out a regime that we was about them pushing out Assad, a leader that we didn't like. And then they became the leader we didn't like. And we go in there, find a reason to go in for resources.
More war.
I'm just saying.
More war. It's
More
that
war.
vacuum theory, right?
Yep.
This is how Obama started all those micro-aggressive wars and those proxy wars. And Bush did the same thing. Now, we ain't talking about left and right. They were talking about presidents and their greed. A lot of these presidents will go create a vacuum by removing a certain regime. Bush did it with in Iraq, right? With Saddam. What's his name? Barack did it with Osama. And now you're seeing Biden do the exact same thing with all the rest of the places, including Ukraine and Russia. This is exactly their mindset. If they can create vacuums over there, they leave a pocket for multiple militant groups that they call freedom fighters to slip in. What happens when they slip in? You create more chaos in the region. The more chaos in the region there is, the more reason the U.S. seems to have a reason to go in to settle things. Once they settle things down, then they have to pump money in that region to get things even better off. That money never makes things better. Is that okay? It's like, how long has the Afghan war gone on, and is it any better? No. How much money have we thrown in it? Billions upon billions. Not better. Who's, however, come out on the top end of this? Every single politician that's voted for the war in Afghanistan. It's laundering at its finest, but they put it under the guise of feel sorry for these people, so we have to send money to them. This is exactly what's going to happen. Now, back in the day, Gaddafi spoke to these people, and I just watched the exchange. The entire Arab leadership was executed by hanging, yet we sit on the sidelines. Why? Any one of you might be next. And he laughed. Okay? He laughed. Now, why would he? Here's why I think he's laughed. He's not laughing necessarily at Gaddafi. He's laughing at the fact that would never happen to me. He had now back in the day, Syria had very good strategic positioning throughout the U.S. diplomatic systems. Okay, let's just be honest about that. It's not like people were trying to infiltrate Syria on behalf of America or anything like that. However, what they possessed did influence America's policies because they had a lot of what was that? Oil. They had oil, right?
Oil, yes.
What
happened?
Did Rumble just go down?
Maybe.
Rumble just went down.
They said just re-add it. What?
Is it? Are you guys still seeing us?
No.
Let me know if you guys are still seeing us.
All the chat is gone too. Maybe we was going too deep.
Please let us know if you guys can see us.
Oh man. Maybe we was figuring something out and Rumble was like, oh, can't have this get now.
Just please let us know if you can see us, okay? I'm leaving it up right now. It looks like it's still up on Rumble.
I'm only seeing YouTube.
I'm over at Rumble right now, and I'm hearing myself talk. So if you guys are still seeing it, please say something on your Rumble end. Let me know. That's what I need to see. A comment. Nope. Nope what?
Not YouTube in, the Rumble in. That's what we're talking about.
We just need Rumble to answer. Yeah. Let me know if you can see us. Because it looks like Rumble went down on our StreamYard end. So please let us know if you can still hear or see.
Melissa, she said we can see you.
Okay. I'm not going to touch it. I'm not going to touch it then. I'll just assume that's a glitch in the matrix that they won't have the chat popping up here is what it looks like.
Yeah.
Yeah. It looks like it might be just the chat that disconnected. So we won't be able to see you until we figure what else after is out. Okay.
But you can go over to, if you want to chat.
Yeah, jump back over to YouTube if you want to.
Yes.
You can see but not message. Yeah, that's a Rumble issue then.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's crazy. All right. Well, hey, there you go. We'll keep talking though. I can see and hear but can't comment. Yep, that's what they're saying over on Rumble too. Yeah. Okay. All right. In any case, I think he was smiling because it ain't gonna happen to me. They're not after me. They're not going to change anything. This is not going to affect anything that we're doing. And so he laughed. Now let's see if he continues to laugh and see what else. He said, why won't there be an investigation into the killing of Saddam Hussein? Very good question. Now for these questions, Gaddafi earned himself an answer.
Yep.
Gaddafi earned himself an answer with that question. He found out. America fought alongside Saddam Hussein against Khomeini. All right. Oh, yes. Khomeini, yes. He was their friend. Cheney was a friend. Rumsfeld. At the time, Iraq was destroyed. Close friend of Saddam. Ultimately, they sold him out. You're friends of America. Let's say that we are not you. حتى انتم اصدقاء امريكا نحن اصدقاء امريكا بلاش نقول انتم نحن اصدقاء امريكا كلنا قد توافق امريكا على شنقنا في يوم ما. But one of these days America may hang us. You want to know why they took out Gaddafi? The man could see the writing on the wall.
Yep.
Now mind you, these particular issues that we're seeing across the globe isn't so much about differences in diplomacy, difference in how governments are run. This is about how to funnel money under the auspices of war and trying to achieve world peace, but at the same time destabilizing as many countries as they can and creating vacuums to create more wars to throw more money at to say that we're trying to keep things peaceful. Yep. It is a money laundering cycle that has been going on since the 60s, possibly 50s, heck, possibly even since the Opium Wars. Who knows how long they've been trying to do this and following money and sending money over and getting something back. This is why when Trump took over before and he tried to shut everything down from going out, they were in such an uproar and they started to go after his neck. They had to. He was messing with their money. He was messing with their intentions. He was messing with their plan. Forget the global new world order for just 1 second. The first thing that pissed him off was their pocket gotten messed with.
Yep.
And that's why I think they're doing it here.
That's you know, I was just reading something and it's real quick. It said the 7 remaining countries without banks owned by the Rothschilds as Baghdad, Cuba, Iran, North Korea, Russia, Bolivia, and Syria. And notice at least 3 of those that we hear about, or 4 that we hear about all the time: Iran, North Korea, Russia, and Syria. And you notice how all those countries are our enemy per se. That
yes,
America tells us they're our enemy. Half the Americans don't even know who these people are, can't even point to a place on a map. But they are our enemies. Why? Because they are not owned by the Rothschilds Bank. Just
there
saying.
You go. Yeah.
Money.
It makes the world go round.
Yep.
It really does. This is not necessarily about whether or not Assad's alive anymore either, at least to me. I don't think they're going to try and get to the bottom of whether or not Assad's alive. They're going to put that as the front-running story while Biden sends money and people sends money and all kinds of stuff. Okay, so this is what he was talking about. The 7 remaining English countries that are, or the 7 remaining countries that are not under the World Bank issues, at least for the Rothschilds. Okay. So you mentioned that Syria was the last one so far. Then look, North Korea, that they will have there'll be a nuclear war before they achieve that one. There'll be a nuclear war before they achieve Russia. Bolivia, they'll be easy to get. Cuba, they already got. Iran, they're pretty close to getting. All of them will eventually do this. They will. Now, you have to destabilize first. You cannot achieve this without first destabilization. And the best way for destabilization is to take out the heads of the people that are actually in your way. Now, is he dead? Don't know. Is he in Russia hiding? Don't know. But I would be hiding too if now I realized that, hey, Gaddafi was right.
Yep.
If now, years later, all of a sudden I think back and I thought, dang, Gaddafi, man, you tried telling me. I guess we're at the point now. I gotta leave. I gotta leave. Now these people are taking over, and they're getting not only funding but airtime.
Mm-hmm.
Whoo-wee. Look, this is gonna. I think this will be one of those situations where we'll monitor, but we won't be able to do jack shit about it because at this point, right now, everything that's happening is in an effort to maintain as much grasp of power in the Middle East by the current military complex as possible. And until they get out of the way, and look, I don't think Trump's going to have enough time to clear this up in 4 years. I don't think so. What do you think?
I think the only thing he can do, and it sounds harsh, but just turn his back on them all.
Yeah.
Just say, America wants nothing to do with it. Sorry. Don't want nothing to do with it. As a matter of fact, we don't want to trade with you, but we don't want to do anything. And that's the only way, because they want us involved in these countries so bad. If Trump came in and just said, hey, we're not touching it, we aren't doing anything, that's the only way it can work. But if he gets involved, we're going to be in another war in the Middle East, and another war here and another war there for the rest of our lives, our kids' lives, our kids' lives, because these deep state snakes are all about money, power, and war. And without those things, they are useless. They know it.
Now, this Irishman is asking a very valid question. Not going to lie.
What's going on here? What's this all about?
So for the past few decades, we've been under constant oppression by Bashar al-Assad, the dictator of Syria.
Yeah.
He's been imprisoning civilians. He's been murdering, torturing, massacring everybody left and right.
All right.
So since this morning, since 2 a.m., we've reclaimed Damascus being the capital of Syria.
Yes, yeah, I understand.
So the entire country is free.
So you're free now?
We are free now.
So
finally.
Finally. So now does that mean all you go back to Syria now?
The economic situation isn't
You're free. You're free. You know what I mean? Go back. And he's right.
Pause. I love that pause.
The economic situation. Oh, so you're not over here seeking asylum. He just said it right there, just like every other immigrant, just like a majority of immigrants that come into our country. You're not seeking asylum. You're here for economic reasons. He just called them. He called them right there.
Wow. And you can. I want to hear the rest of his answer so badly.
Yeah. Okay. So economic reasons. You're in Ireland. Economic reasons.
We hope we can go back. We wish.
Well, I'm sure you can go back now that you're free from occupation or whatever dictatorship. Take care. There you go. Syria is free from the war. They can go back to
it.
Makes sense, right?
Look, if you tell me you left there because, and listen, he didn't say, the guy when he asked him, he didn't say that Assad was taking his money. That's not what he said. He said that Assad was killing and Assad was murdering and Assad was genociding people and blah, blah, blah. And they were fearing for their safety. And now that he's gone, we are free. Okay. I would think the next, okay, it's like this. Okay, so my house is on fire. Okay, it's on fire. The police station shows up. Oh my God, do you know who started this? No, but we need the fire department to show up. Okay, fine. Fire's still going. Fire department shows up. Oh my goodness, thank God. And they put out the fire. And only the front part of your house is gone. You still have your bedrooms. You still have the kitchen. Just the living room was what burned. You can still walk through it. None of the windows cracked. It just burned the living room. So someone asks you, are you going to go home now? Well, you see, there's burn marks in the living room, so now I can't really go home. I'm gonna have to go stay with somebody else, and I need you to put me up for a little bit longer. He said, but your house is livable now. He said, You were worried about the fire. Yeah, the fire is gone. Yes. And you can still stay there while you fix the rest of the fire stuff that got burned, right? Yes. So go home. No. So you
I
didn't
don't make
leave
enough
because of
money
the
then.
fire? Yeah, I left because of the fire. The fire's gone. I know. So go home. Mm-mm. I want to stay out here with the firefighters. Like,
Yeah,
what?
yeah. I don't want to go yet. Yeah. We're celebrating in a country that accepted us. We're celebrating that he's gone, but we refuse to go back, even though we're assuming that it's going to be better.
Yeah, and it will be. If you go back, you want the money
Yeah.
that you say, it's financially stable. Now you can go back and make it financially stable.
Or fight for your own country.
But yeah, go do
Yeah,
the thing
how
you should be
you-
doing.
Imagine that, you know?
Look, these people are proving every day that this whole idea of inclusion and bringing people in is a farcical thing. Okay, let's just be honest. It's all jokes. They have no intention of actually helping people live better life. This is about now they're using twofold, right? You create their chaos over, you bring them over here, you create this idea of utopia, and then you do like Cuba did and you imprison them anyway, but they imprison in something that they think is better for them. In reality, it's not better for them, but they believe it is, so they can go along with your agenda. Before too long, by the time they realize it, there's no way they can fight out of it. They can't. It's done. So I think this is a good strategy. I'm not going to look. And when your enemy is good at what they do, you got to at least say, hey, kudos to you. You know what you're doing. They know what they're doing. And by the end of this, I'm going to make a bet with people out there. Keep an eye on Biden's paybook. And I mean his net worth, okay? Keep an eye on his net worth between now and when he leaves office.
Yep.
And I will bet you money that his net worth takes a significant bump when he leaves. I will put all types of cash on that one, that he will put up all kinds of money. Just go whoop, he'll be shot up, just rich, and it'll be from books.
And I'm still going to keep asking the question. If the man wasn't, cognitive enough to stand trial for the classified documents in his garage, if he wasn't cognitive enough to run for a second term, how is he able or cognitive enough to start a war, send money to foreign countries before war? How is he allowed to make those decisions? You know what I mean? The minute he said he wasn't cognitive enough to run for president, because of his dementia, all his decision-making abilities should be cut off. And for Congress to even approve any funding going anywhere, it's just a smack in the face to the American people, because they know we're tired of it. And again, it's just money laundering. He's pushing that money out. The money gets to the country. It shoots back to the military-industrial complex. Every lobbyist plus the president will get their cut, and they keep moving. And it just keeps doing it. Can't hear you.
Oh, my bad. This guy had some more to say, so we want to listen to his questions as he spoke here. Just listen to the question she's going to ask him.
Military operations alike.
Some believe this is happening because the allies of the Assad regime, the Russians, Hezbollah, Iran, that they're weakened, they're preoccupied with other wars. And this is why we are seeing this happen right now. And the Syrian regime itself weakened. Is this what is happening right now? Is this why you chose to launch this offensive right now?
As you know, we are still in the midst of the battle, and discussing such details at this time is not wise.
But you faced more of a resistance in Hama than you did in Aleppo. What do you think happened? Why did the regime withdraw like it did?
The seeds of the regime's defeat have always been within it. It has been effectively dead since that time. However, the Iranians attempted to revive the regime, buying it time, and later the Russians also tried to prop it up. But the truth remains, this regime is dead.
In the last year, it seemed like Bashar al-Assad survived the war. He was welcomed back into the Arab fold and on the world stage.
The Arab countries' evaluation of the situation was mistaken. Some Arab countries try to separate the regime from Iran's project. This is impossible. Even if the regime wanted this, it can't implement it. It's a subservient relationship. Iran can disengage from the regime, but the regime can't. To describe the regime as victorious is deeply unjust to the many children, people, women subjected to rape in prisons, displaced individuals scattered across the world, those drowning in the seas, and those living in tents on the borders of other countries. What kind of victory are we talking about?
In the past, you have talked about strict Islamic rule. Is that still the plan?
People who fear Islamic governance either have seen incorrect implementations of
There you go. There you go.
What did we say?
There you
What
go.
did we say?
Wait for it.
or do not understand it properly. We are talking about something that aligns with the traditions and nature of the region. The most important thing is to build institutions. We are not talking about rule by individuals or personal whims. It's about institutional governance. Syria deserves a governing system that is institutional, not one where a single ruler makes arbitrary decisions.
You get it now? They're just going to implement the same thing that every other Muslim-based country does. They
Sharia
call
law.
it non-regime. They just call it being led by something else. It's not an individual. It is a dictatorship, but they just don't want to call it that. It eventually have one imam that will be over everybody, just like Iran has. It'll be no different, but they will not call it that in the public eye. We're just trying to free ourselves from this regime that's so oppressive to us. Meanwhile, they'll come in and they'll do even more oppressive stuff because they're going to be having a religion behind it.
Yep.
And this religion is really good at ending people's lives.
And you
They're
can
really
bet, you can guarantee that the imam that's going to be put in place is going to be picked by the West, because it has to be an imam that's going to toe the line with the agenda of the West. So, you know, they're just removing someone and they're putting their own person in there that they handpicked to run a country. Once that guy gets in there, guarantee that Syria becomes part of the Rothschild banking system. You're going to have a lot of American contractors, different countries in there, drilling for oil, drilling for resource, and taking resources. And then the people are going to be miserable. You'll see.
But you can pray to Mecca all day long and be fine.
Yeah.
So at least you're able to do that. Don't worry about it. Muhammad will be happy with you. More power to you.
Make sure your face is covered up.
Yeah, make sure your face and your head is covered. Now, mind you, Assad, when he did interviews, he didn't require the ladies to have their head covered. This guy would not do the interview unless her head was covered, and she's not Muslim.
Yep.
If you don't think that that's oppressive, okay, all right. Don't think it, but it is oppressive because you're not allowed to do what you want to do, right? Okay, good. Y'all didn't want Assad, though, because he was murderous. Let me ask a question. Remember when those things went off? And this is also one I had issue with Trump with. Do you remember when those so-called chemical bombs went off in Syria?
Mm-hmm.
Did we get any results from that when it came to NATO or the UN, any kind of actions? Wouldn't that, now hear me, if you chemically gassed or destroyed people in your own country, I remember them showing this one little girl over and over on TV. And nothing happened to you. There was no invasion. The last person that used chemical warfare, they got wiped out, right?
Saddam.
Yeah. So what happened? Well, how is it that nothing? You just let him continue? You see, I don't think he actually did anything like that. I think that was part of another issue. Now, I do believe that Trump believed he did. And this is why he needs to make sure he checks stuff before he does it. He almost participated in the exact same thing that he said he didn't want to participate in, which was global war.
Yep.
Because he did fire rockets in there, didn't he? Just saying.
Yeah. You know, they've been talking about Assad for how many years now? Like really talking about him.
Yeah, about 12, 13, maybe 14.
Yeah. Now, and there's only a few times within that time span that he's actually been like headline news. And one of them was that gas attack. And they kept showing the same little girl, But when you go back to Saddam did the same exact thing to the Kurds. And that was one of our reasons, besides the fake, weapons of mass destruction. That was one of our reasons to going in there. He gassed all of these Kurdish people. That's one of the reasons why we're going there. He's a dictator. So why didn't they go after, like you said, why didn't they go after Assad after that gas attack? Shouldn't that have been enough, you know, for you to take him out? Yeah, I don't know. So why now, though? Why now? I'm gonna keep asking that question. Why now?
Well, now is important because right now they're not carrying. Now, hear me out. The while they do want to launder money, they're still gonna get their money laundered. They don't care so much about what the money gets done with over there or what happens to Syria. Right now, the Democrats, and I'm going to call the Democrats and the rhinos, are more interested in branding the next power, Trump, as the ones that screwed up this event.
Yep.
They have to make him be he didn't get that in this 2016, right? Everything cleared up in 16. They have to give him and they did catch him with you know, the C-19 thing at the end of it. But they have to give him something that will be so catastrophic for him to deal with that he will have no option but to have to deal with it, whether he wants to or not, and avoid dealing with what he was planning to do here. In the meantime, they're going to try their best to push as many things here that will counter his presidency to make him a lame duck president. This is their plan.
Yep.
This is their plan. So if they can split his attentions from here to somewhere else, they win. However, what I don't think they're banking on, and I really do hope he's learned his lesson. This is what I'm not banking on. Him just saying, F it all y'all can go. We ain't dealing with none of y'all. Figure your own stuff down. America's closed. We got stuff to deal with in our own home. We out. Peace.
Yep.
Good luck with that. You're not getting no more money. Give me back my cash. Y'all figure that stuff out. You put yourself there.
I hope he does. And I hope that any American troops that are in harm's way out there, he brings them all home. Every last one of them brings them home. And then when it comes to us seeing it on social media, TV, whatever, you don't even allow it to be seen. You'd be like, no, that's foreign stuff. It has nothing to do with us. Why are we talking about that? Why are we talking about that? You know, focus on America. Cut all these countries off. Sorry. Hey, it was fun. You guys figured that problem out. You started it. You finish it.
Yeah. The thing is, we're not saying that we don't care about the local people there, but you have to understand these people are the same ones that will come over here and fight us.
That's right.
Their loyalties may be on the surface against their regime there, but make no mistake, if they get the chance to come here, they're going to put in the same exact stuff and implement the same plans that their so-called bad regime had over them, and they'll be happy for it.
Mm-hmm.
They still hate America, but they'll take America money and help.
That's right.
So no, if you feel that badly about it and you do hate and you can fight. Stay over there though and fight. Don't fight over here.
Yeah, don't bring it here.
Put your kids in a bunker, block it up in the hills, something, and you men that can fight, go to war. Take out the people that are in charge. Go ahead.
And this is going to show how deep the deep state really is, because the term shadow government is real. Mm-hmm. Donald Trump will be in office, but you're still going to have the deep state and these shadow entities operating outside the government that are going to still be creating these chaotic situations in these countries. They're rogue. You know, they'll send people in there, blow up something. You know, no one will ever know. They start another conflict somewhere, and Trump's looking over here. You got a war in Syria. Next thing you know, there's a war in Lebanon. Next thing you know, and they're just going to be popping them up all over the place. And as you stated, making them a lame duck president, to where there's going to be so much going on that they're hoping that he would answer the call. But I think he just needs to stand his ground and be like, no, we're not doing it. Yeah. Sorry, we're not doing it.
And that's the crazier part, but I don't think it'll matter. I don't think it'll matter. I think what will end up happening is Biden has enough time, mind you. Mm-hmm. He has right now 29 days. No, 39 days to do what he wants to do. More than that. What am I talking about? He has 40 days until this happens.
Yeah.
40. He has a lot of time to mess this up before Trump takes in. A lot of time to screw everything that he possibly can. He already talked about doing that. Do not be surprised if there's another couple other spots that happen where he says, yo, I'm sending money here. I'm putting this in here. I'm ordering my troops this place. I'm going to send stuff here. And you're going to see all kinds of overseas things happen under the name of diplomacy within the next 40 days. Mark my words. He's going to put every kind of stick in the fire so that when Trump finally gets in there, he's going to have a heck of a time trying to figure this out.
And don't count out another pandemic.
Yeah,
You know,
no, he
don't
already
count
said
that
it.
out. Yep,
He
don't
already
count
said it.
that out
Yeah.
because again, if they can get them focusing on, you know, conflicts overseas and then another, you know, pandemic hits America. Imagine coming in office and having to deal with all of that at once. But, you know, I got faith in Trump. I think he's already looking far ahead. I'm pretty sure he's already looking at it and he's already planning for it.
I hope so, because the last time he got in, I think there was a little bit of naivete on his part.
Yeah.
Hopefully he learned his lesson that the deep state is really, really deep. And they have their prongs in everything. And just because you think you can get it done, don't mean you can get it done. I mean, I want you to say you want to get it done, but you have to understand that there might be things that you have to do, including and up to leaving foreign countries to their own demise in order for this to work for us locally. Yep. Because if America eventually collapses, that's it. That's it. Everywhere else is just going to go follow the same. I'm not saying that America has everything 100% perfect. No. But right now, the only place that still allows for any sort of freedom is here. No one can dispute that. You can't go anywhere else and say you're going to protest in the way that people protest over here. You're going to try it. Go ahead.
Yeah, go to the UK and speak like we're speaking on this podcast.
Go ahead. See what happens to you.
They arrest you for that. Australia, done. Some of us, you know, I think so. But
hey, look, this remember they were talking about X, right? The new one, this X one that they were leaving a name open for. We covered this about almost a year ago now.
Yeah, disease X.
Yeah, they were thinking about dropping. Don't be surprised if that makes another resurfacing thing where they have to split his attention again. Remember, as many sticks as they can put in his fire, they're going to put, so he cannot focus on helping the American population, so that when the economy tanks, they're going to see it's his tariffs that did it. It's because of the international crap he started. This is why America going down. Y'all got what you voted for.
And here's another thing that it will cause. Remember, I talked about chaos within. So they cause all this. Donald Trump gets in office. Everything probably goes up, skyrockets, tariffs. They blame everything on tariffs. And what's that going to cause within our own country? It's going to cause a divide, a huge divide within our own country, which they've always been trying to push for some type of civil war in our country.
Yep.
Don't forget, they said that Donald Trump won't get certified on January 6th, and then we'll have civil war conditions. Raskins, the rat. And this is their plan. They create chaos from the outside. Wars and all types of stuff. And then in the inside starts crumbling because we're focused out. The inside things start happening. We start crumbling within. They blame it on tariffs. Now the people are at each other's throat. The Trump supporters and the Marxists fighting over who's right and who's wrong. This has always been their plan. They don't want that man to get into office, and they're going to do everything possible to destroy his 4 years in there.
Yeah.
And you get Barack Obama the other day standing on a stage talking about primitive or something about this side and that side doesn't want whatever he was talking about. You know, so they're planning it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's going to be one of those things that you're going to have to see flesh out for yourself if you don't believe us. And it's up to each his own. You got to see for yourself. But at the same time, they've done this enough that the blueprint is out there. They've done it enough that is the kind of there's a step-by-step process that they've done this with, and they're going to continue doing it. It's not just even the deep state. The military-industrial complex cannot survive without a healthy war going on that America is either pumping money into or we got boots on the ground for. And if Trump gets in there and starts to say no more war, we're not even so I don't care if we got fights over there with money, we sent money, we're pulling everything back. They're up a creek. Because that's his one way of getting out of this. This is how Trump can avoid all this. Yeah, y'all are at war. Tough. We got stuff to deal with. We're pulling our troops as well. With we will not be losing troops because of your war. You've lost our protection as well. So we're dragging our troops back. As for you, y'all handle your business, figure out your stuff. You said now you're free. You didn't want Assad, so you should be good now. Good to go. As for you people in Pakistan and Israel, I'd stop funding both Israel and Hamas and just say, no, y'all figure it out. Y'all come to a peace treaty. You don't need us for that. We stop dabbling in your business. Figure your stuff out. Be like an adult and sit down and talk, or fight and kill each other off. Have fun doing something about it. Go ahead and deal with that. You and Russia, you and Ukraine and Russia. This is like he's coming in dealing with people like when mom didn't discipline any of the kids, and you got to come in and lay the law down. You two, y'all better stop fighting, or none of y'all getting no allowances this year.
and pull out of the United Nations. I hope he does. We're out the United Nations. We want no part of it.
He had planned on doing that in 16.
Yeah, it's nothing but a bunch of warmongers who are tied to the military-industrial complex, and all they pretty much do is talk about what's the next country they're going to topple. See what they can get their kickbacks. So I would pull out of United Nations also. Defend our borders. Any of those stinking countries think they're going to come over here and start something, they're going to learn that we do have the greatest military in the world. And that's what you focus on.
Yeah, I remember hearing that from him. And he said, don't worry, it's close, real close. It might be here before the year even starts. He said that. So they've already planned it the same way Fauci said it in 17. They told us it was coming. Obama told you in 14. Then Fauci told you in 17. And then it showed up. And then during the first year of Biden's, don't be surprised if another one shows up in 3 years. He said this. His own mouth. And lo and behold, they're talking about it because they knew they weren't going to pull off the same thing twice. Come on now. They knew they wasn't going to pull that off. They wouldn't.
And the thing with the another, pandemic, they know how Trump is. Trump's going to play hardball. He's not going to push for lockdowns. He's probably not going to push to get the vaccine. And then they're going to come up with all these crazy numbers of people, not being anymore, dying, just like they did with COVID. And then they're going to say, see, Donald Trump, he doesn't care about the American people. All these people, it's all just to ruin the man's whole reputation as president until they get their guy back in there that's going to fix it. Like they always to fix it, We're
talking about mafia fix. The fix.
Yeah. So mafia, man. That's all it is.
We'll fix it. But we'll keep track of it. I'm sure there's more. They said they found the guy, Mr. Backpack Man. They said they found him.
Marlon, and he had a manifesto.
I told you.
They always have a manifesto, man. Tomorrow, dear diary, tomorrow I'm going to blast the CEO. Who does that? And he had a manifesto talking about it. That's crazy, man. They found him in a McDonald's with a weapons charge, and he had a manifesto on him. Okay, yeah, believable.
All right, buddy. Okay,
yeah,
whatever.
Get a new script. Your lies don't work anymore.
And it's always documented. The manifesto is always so strategic, like it's almost written by the CIA. It's so weird.
Yeah, man.
Wait a minute. Might have been them wrote it and dropped it there. Oh, look, a manifesto.
Manifesto. Why is this laying here? Did you guys see this manifesto? It's like walking into your house, picking up some writings you have, just some random stuff. Like, yeah, he has a manifesto. He wants us to pick up chicken and broccoli. I think he's making cordon bleu. Yeah, that's a manifesto. They just anything could be a manifesto, and they always got to name it manifesto to make it sound more sensational,
ominous.
Yeah. Oh, manifesto.
Good night. That's what it reminds me of Lion King. Mufasa. Mufasa. Manifesto. Manifesto.
There's a trend going around. They're saying, the boomer that called the cops on the guy because they said that they got him. They hope he gets hemorrhoids, and everybody's pissed off that the cops found him because they found him at a McDonald's, and that's how they found a manifesto in a bag on him. So he was carrying his manifesto. He had his manifesto with him.
Might be like his Bible, bro. You never know.
Oh my God, man! They really think we believe that? Come on.
But hey, there will be though. There are people that's gonna.
Yeah, boomers.
They're gonna believe it. In any case, we'll cover it probably Wednesday and more. There's some more things going on out there, but these are the more pressing ones. We got to cover some more of his picks as well. He put some more in, and they're interesting to say the least. His press secretary looks like she's gonna be a Spitfire. Good Lord, she looked like she's worse than McEnany. Like she looks like she is gonna be no holds barred. Whatever come to her mind is gonna come straight out her mouth. Like,
didn't he pick his lawyer for a cabinet position today? I think I
had heard something like that.
Yeah, advisor or something. Yeah, he's got his lawyer in there too. And you heard her. She don't take nothing.
What? Look,
these are a bunch of Gen Xers too. Think about that, Marlon. It's Gen Xers, man. We're mouthy.
Zero chill. We don't
zero chill. So they're not going to take anything.
Man, look, if this goes down the way it goes, them look, they're gonna be lit.
You know, I know we're about to go, but here's what I want. I hope Patel Cash comes in day one. Day one, releases all these classified documents about Epstein and Diddy. Day one, boom, after inauguration, releases it for the American people. Vivek and Elon go in there and they say, you're fired, you're fired, you're fired, you're fired, fired. Show us the books. Let us see the books. They let the American people see it through X. Here's the government spending. Here's what they've been wasting them, and you show everything.
Everything.
Then Cash goes in there and tells the FBI, the CIA, you guys are all shut down until further notice, and we're going to push you guys out, just like he said. You go be police officers.
Yeah, do a job for a change.
Yep. None of this spying on the American people. Done.
And the Patriot Act, Trump.
Yep. And the Patriot Act. Done. Propaganda being sold through the media. Done. Free speech is the law of the land. Period.
You know, the people don't realize if you shut down international trade the way it is right now and international back and forth the way it is now, you have very little to worry about terrorism.
Yep.
You realize that, right? Because right now the left is so stupid, they'll put it all out for you to know that they're going to do something dumb. They'll tell you. So you don't even have to worry about trying to track their phone or secret message. They're not smart enough to do that. They're putting for instance, there are people now making TikToks. Oh, these CEOs of other companies need to be beware because we can take you out now just as easily. Better be. You're telling everybody you're planning on killing more people. This is how dumb they are. So I don't need to worry about no page. You don't need to monitor my private communications. They're publicly telling this crap. That's how dumb they are.
They're
okay,
dumb.
So get rid of the Patriot Act. Get rid of all the private surveillance, all of that crap. Just get rid of it, and we'll be good. We'll be good. Stop having Facebook tell me where I was shopping when I didn't tell nobody else.
And you know, Marlon, one thing is, you know, when Donald Trump said at one point, he said, we have it all. Remember that statement? We have it all. And then I want to tie that to Space Force. I think Donald Trump really does have so much information on these deep state rats through Space Force, because Space Force, they can catch all this encrypted stuff. That's what Space Force. So anything that's encrypted, Space Force, they're already picking it all up. And I think that when Donald Trump really says he's going after corruption in the deep state in the swamp, I think he really has everything that he needs. And it's going to
I remember what it was. We're going to talk about Wednesday.
What?
The preemptive pardons idea.
Oh, yeah.
That's why we think things are going to go down, because they're already you can't pardon somebody for a crime they hadn't committed yet. You know. So we'll see what they talk about when they say preemptive pardons. We'll see. We'll talk about that Wednesday. We'll get a list of the people that he's planning to preemptively pardon or thinking about preemptively pardoning, and see if those people may have said some things illegally, done things illegally, lied. You know,
they did.
That's why they're running. You know,
they did.
Rats jumping ship going down, can't swim, rat poison everywhere. You know,
you know, Marlon, that old saying, if you didn't do anything wrong, you have nothing to worry about. This is showing that they have something to worry about. Why would you need a pardon? Because you have something to worry about.
There you go.
And I can't wait. I can't wait for it to be live on TV, to put your faces up there and show exactly the crimes you committed. I can't wait for that day. Popcorn in hand,
buttered too. Some maybe caramel. Oh,
my goodness. I might even go a little. I might get some Dorito salt and put on it. You know, I might get a little crazy. You know,
stepping out there now.
I might live a little. You know, drink a drink a Dr. Pepper that day. I don't really drink soda, but I might
some MSG on there too. Go all out.
Yeah, I might just go all out. You know, just poison myself that whole day.
Act like a true leftist. In any case, we'll be back on Wednesday. Hopefully, Coy has his crap together.
That stench is going to be there a while, though.
Sorry, Coy, I had to. Hopefully, he gets out of that crappy situation. Lee will not be, because he's gone for the next week, because he's got end of year work stuff going on. So he told us. So Lee won't be, but hopefully Coy will be here on Wednesday, and we'll cover all these preemptive pardon thoughts that they have going on. And listen to the media meltdown about how when they thought Trump was going to do it, they were mad. But now that Biden's thinking about doing it, it's okay. So just watch out for that.
Hey, listen, America. So for our last week, the last week before Christmas, our last episode before Christmas. Do you think Marlon and I should wear Christmas sweaters?
I don't have none, so I can't wear it anyway.
You can go to Walmart and get it. Stop lying. Yeah. Ugly. I'm gonna wear ugly Christmas sweater.
I don't do Christmas. Okay.
I don't. I mean either, but I'm
the Grinch.
Festive.
I'm the Grinch.
You're
I'll wear
mean.
green.
What was your song?
You're
You
a mean
sang?
one, Mr. Grinch.
No, you put something else in it before. Last year's like, you're a mean one. Oh, I remember. I ain't gonna say it though.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, you know what?
The Grinch.
Yeah, that one.
And not me. Not this year. Not ever. I don't ever do it.
Christmas.
But
is tight.
I might dress up like Oscar the Grouch.
Yeah, do it. I mean, Christmas is gonna be tight this year. Like 2 toes in the sock. Tight.
Yeah, Kohl's for all my kids. I don't care what nobody say. Kohl is as expensive as iPhones these days. Okay, so they're gonna get Kohl's.
Hey, we might need it if we have a blackout. So that Kohl's gonna come in handy.
There you
Kohl.
go.
Yeah.
And I mean KHOL''S. You remember Kohl's? You remember Kohl's?
Yeah, Kohl's. That's still around?
I don't know. I don't think so.
I don't know.
I haven't seen it. Like they were in the
Or is it
South. Maybe
Marshalls
they might be down south. There might be Marshalls now.
Yeah.
Goodwill, perhaps. I don't know. We'll see. We'll
I
think
know.
about it. I might break the mold and purchase like a Goodwill ugly sweater and wear it.
Yeah, man. Just wear the ugliest sweater you can possibly find at Goodwill. I mean, ugly.
Don't hold me to it. I might just say, no, I'm still not doing it. So I'm a rebel without a clause.
Yeah.
So we'll catch you guys on Wednesday. Make sure you tune in. If you hadn't caught the Billy Carson meltdown this morning that I did on Straight Talk, please go check that out. It was quite hilarious because most of his buddies came in to try and defend his name, and they got justified treatment, and I called them what they are, homosexual. So we hey, you come sideways, I'm coming back sideways, and I could come way more sideways than you.
Yeah, he can. I will. Marlon and I have known each other almost 3 years, and he can get pretty sideways.
When I go low, I go low. Okay, low. You'll be struggling to get below me. You will be struggling.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Whoa.
So
yeah,
get bad.
So
Ain't nobody safe.
We'll catch y'all Wednesday. Hopefully, Cole will be back. In the meantime, in between time, hopefully Rumble figures that stuff out.
Please.
We'll be back 6:30. Share it when we post it. I'll try and post it up tomorrow so you guys can have it to share on social media. And we'll discuss all the stuff about these pardons. I'll catch you guys in the morning for another episode of Straight Talk. So we'll catch you guys. Make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe. And we'll catch you next week. Bye.